The economic freedom fighters are the latest to call for the banning of pit bulls. It comes after yet another child was mauled to death in just a week, or in just the space of a week, that is. In Cape Town, residents have burnt 3 dogs to death following an attack on a young girl. The SPCA's Nazareth Appalsamy joins us now for more. Nazareth, good evening to you. Thanks for your time. So obviously this is becoming a problem bigger than it has been in our communities. Are we seeing more reporting of these incidents, or is there reason to believe that they are on the increase?
Good evening, Kathy. Thank you for having me. So, firstly, I'd like to say that we certainly support the media statement by EFF. They are calling for people to surrender animals in the most humane way, and they certainly want animals surrendered, and they don't want communities resorting to mob violence or to inflicting harm on animals. So we certainly support the stance of the EFF. In terms of the amount of attacks, we are aware of the attack that happened in the Western Cape regarding the 3 dogs that were set alight, and we appeal to the community at large is not to take the law into their own hands, and for anyone who wants to surrender animals to take it to the nearest SPCA. Our doors are always open.
And Nazareth, in as far as the attacks on children by pit bulls or on humans by pit bulls, what would you as the SPCA say you have observed over the years?
I think the attacks are very tragic, and the animals that attacked these kids have certainly been removed. I think that people who own animals and people who are not sure how these animals are going to behave or under the circumstances with their children, they need to be cautious. And I think that it is important that these animals are actually family members. They form part of the family, and that people who understand the breed should spend at least a minimum of 2 hours rather than the animal being chained at the back of a property or confined in a cage. So for those owners who understand the breed, understand its limitations, understand the risk, and are quite comfortable with the animal, then that's great. And for those who have animals at the moment where they are unsure, they don't interact with the animals, and they are really in doubt, we appeal to them not to give it to their neighbor or to their friends, but rather to do the right thing and to surrender the animal to the SPCA.
You said earlier that you support this call. This is for the ban of domestic ownership of pit bulls. What does it mean in as far as the SPCA and the work that you do is concerned? Will you be actively then campaigning to see this happen?
Thank you. I'm just going to correct you there. So the NSPCA does not support the ban of any breed. We never have, and we never will. What we do support is what most organizations is calling for, which is the protection of children, the protection of vulnerable, and for stronger regulations and laws pertaining to the keeping of animals. So we certainly encourage municipalities to beef up their bylaws. We certainly encourage law enforcement officials to enforce bylaws. And of course, we are certainly hoping that national and provincial government will look at laws with regards to the owning of animals.
Oh, sorry, I must have misheard you earlier then, Nazareth. I thought you said that you agree with the EFF statement.
We agree with the EFF statement with regards to animals being surrendered to the SPCA.
Oh, but you don't agree?
Instead of I beg your pardon?
Sure, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I said that we agree with the EFF statement where animals should be surrendered to the SPCA instead of them being killed in the manner in which they are currently being killed by communities.
Do you think that there's a way of controlling those animals that are already under the guardianship of various owners? Because at this point, there's no telling really which owners are doing a good or bad job until we end up with these maulings, unfortunately.
You're quite right there, and this is why we advocate for responsible pet ownership. So every owner should research the animal that they have. They should have done that before they actually got one, to understand the breed and how it is easily aroused. And if you don't have the property to keep such an animal, if you don't know the means and how to keep such an animal, then we strongly advise not to have such an animal. So every person owning this power breed should be able to understand that if this breed gets aroused, that they need to calm it down.
All right, we'll leave it there for tonight. Nazareth Appalsamy is with the National Council of SPCA's Special Investigating Unit.